this series, I'm going to be showing you how you can have your own products bearing your own designs totally free, no financial outlay. And I'm going to be doing it at a gentler pace. And the reason for that is because my lovely friend Imi here came to me and said, I really want to learn about all the things you talk about with print on demand, but I find everybody's training videos on YouTube are too fast. Isn't that right, Imi?
It is. It is. I find it absolutely impossible to follow them unless I slow them down to a quarter of their speed. And then they sound drunk.
Well, I haven't had a drink, so let's get on with it. Let's get to it. So today I'm going to be explaining all about what print on demand actually is, how it works on platforms like the one that I'm going to be training you on, Redbubble. Then I'm going to talk about the importance of not breaching copyright and trademarks. And then I'm going to get on to something that's quite controversial that Redbubble did a couple of years ago. They introduced account tiers. Now, I really want to mention this because it is important that you go into Redbubble with your eyes open. So, first of all, let's find out what we're talking about in the first place. So, this is how print on demand actually works. So, Imi, you are, let's imagine, that lady in the top left picture at your iMac, and you are uploading the image, text, or photo onto your device. So, we have already filmed a video, which I will link to here, about how to design specifically for print on demand. And we had a lot of fun. So, do please go and watch that one if you haven't already. With that, it tells you the specifics, and it is important to make sure you get these right. So you have your image, your design, and you upload it. So next, it goes on sale on the Redbubble platform, and you have done your bit. I mean, that didn't hurt, did it, me?
No, no, didn't hurt.
No. So you've done,
I would probably be sitting on my sofa doing
yeah.
my and watching the television at the same time.
Okay, well. Okay, I am going to replace that image with that then. That is the end of your responsibility. Yay. So Redbubble then put it on sale, and it is available for people to buy from their platform around the world. And when somebody sees one of your products, they obviously love it and they decide that they want to buy it. Now, we will also in further videos talk about how you can promote your work. You can share your work, you can share the links to your products, and you can do posts about them in social media, for example, or you can order them yourselves and sort of subtly retweet.
Well, then while you're recording your YouTube.
Absolutely. And you can also link to them in your description. So the customer sees it, they love it, and they buy it. They click that magic button to buy it. Yay, you've received an order. And what will happen, especially with Redbubble and most of the other print on demand sites, is they let you know. You get a ping. Some of them do an actual ka-ching noise, which is great.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I did a series of stupid little snippets on TikTok of I made money here, and it was hilarious. The random places, like I'd be in the middle of Sainsbury's or whatever, and I'd go every time I got a ping. It got old. I kind of grew out of it. Redbubble email saying you've made a sale. And they also send you another email to say that it's manufactured and shipped out. And when it
Wow.
sends you that email, it tells you what you're going to be earning from it. So the order's received by them and they let you know. But you don't have to do anything. You can sit back, still on your sofa, and you can and you can just let it all happen because they send the order to a fulfillment center near to the customer. And that's quite pivotal. So now we're on that picture of a factory. Does that all make sense so far, Amy?
It does. It does. And also, it's really reassuring because I'm not a customer interface type of person,
No, that's not your
as you
problem.
know.
That's not your problem. You've washed your hands of the whole thing at this point. From that first image onwards, it's nothing to do with you anymore. It's not your problem. So Redbubble automatically just gets on with fulfilling the order. It goes to a fulfillment center near to the customer. And that is really important that we notice this distinction. Imagine, if you will, that your customer is out in Cincinnati, because they could easily be. Redbubble are not going to print it in a European center, European print facility, and then ship it over to Cincinnati. They're going to use a fulfillment center that's near Cincinnati. It makes so much more sense. And this is one of the great things about print on demand. So, in these times where everybody's concerned about all the miles that are going across the sea, that's not an issue with this. The other brilliant thing about print on demand is there's no, well, little or no, everybody in the world makes mistakes, right? But there's little or no wastage. Because can you imagine me if I decided to do a clothing range or something, or I decided to create these mugs and I came up with my lovely mug, but I put Merry Christmas 2024 on it. And I went and had them printed, had 100 printed, but only 63 sold. I mean, I did well to sell 63, but only 63 sold. I've got 37 mugs all saying Merry Christmas 2024. I can't use them again. They're out of date. They're just
Right.
sitting here. I've wasted that money. I throw them away, they go into landfill. Nobody needs 37 pen pots. So that's it. They've gone. So that doesn't happen with print on demand. With print on demand, the products are sitting there completely blank, waiting for your design, and the design doesn't go on it until the order's received. Isn't that magic?
That's very green, isn't it?
Isn't it?
It
Isn't it?
really does solve your green conscience.
Yes, it's got very good green credentials. Absolutely. So the wastage is reduced, and also it's shipped from as close to the customer as possible. Brilliant. So that
Brilliant.
moves us down to this little van. The finished order is packed by them again. It's not like they send it to you to have to faff around with. They pack it and they ship it directly to the customer. It's happening, you're asleep or doing your life, and it's all happening without you. Your customer receives their order and is delighted, like in that picture in the middle, and you earn your money as a royalty. Yay! Happy dance. So the way this works when you earn your royalty is it's the amount the customer pays. So imagine the customer paid £10 for something. Redbubble will take the product cost out of there and their costs, and then you get the rest. Now, in simple terms, that's how it works. That's how it works for all of the print on demand platforms. I mentioned earlier, Redbubble have introduced an account tier system, which changes things up a little bit. But for now, I want you to sit with that, that is the principle of print on demand. What the customer pays, less the product and product fulfillment costs, the rest comes to you. The wonderful thing about a platform is you can't go wrong. There is no chance that you can look at the product and the product fulfillment costs are £15 and you accidentally charge £10. So you end up out of pocket and having to pay the extra £5. That's never going to happen because,
That's interesting.
yeah, because you could get in a muddle with that. And the other way to do print on demand, which is having it on your own website, that is something that can happen because there's a lot more moving parts in that. And I don't want to go into it now because I don't want to confuse you and bring in that extra complication when we don't need to. But with a platform, that's not going to happen. You are never going to be able to reduce the price. You can change your prices to whatever you want, but there's a limit as to how low you can go because you can't be in a position where you can't make a profit from it.
Brilliant.
So you can't get into trouble, which is great.
Yeah, that is really reassuring.
It is, isn't it? Now,
Yeah.
there is one area that you could get into trouble, and I am determined to try and stop that from happening, and that is copyright and trademarks. So, when you're doing your wonderful designs, please, please, please don't take work that somebody else has done and just put it out there as your own. It is so important. And we can go as big with this as to talking about the massive brand names like Coca Cola and Disney. Yes, it would be great to put Mickey Mouse on something, and I'm sure it would probably sell. But for a start, Redbubble will probably take it off and close your account. In fact, I would say 99.9% chance they will. So for a start, Redbubble will remove it. But also, Disney could come after you, and intellectual property law is vicious. So don't risk it. Just don't do it. Be original. Come up with your own original work. And that's quite easy to say, but there's a lot of work out there. How can you possibly know that somebody else hasn't had the same idea as you? Well, fortunately, there are checking systems. Now, at this point, I really want to explain the difference between copyright and trademark. Did you realize there was a difference in me?
No, I thought they were one of the same.
So, copyright is a basic level of protection. And in that, if you design something yourself, you are already protected by copyright. Fantastic. The way Redbubble handle this is if you put a design on and somebody else a week later notices it and puts the same one on, you can go back to Redbubble and the same with all the platforms and say, Oi, I did that first. That's my design. And they've copied me. And they will take their design off and they'll obviously get a black mark and maybe even have their account closed. So this is a lesson to us because obviously we must remember not to copy other people too. But it's nice to have that level of reassurance, isn't it? That they
What
don't
about what
you.
about if they change the font and the colors? I saw something that somebody had copied from somebody else that they were using cats, I think, and then some writing underneath, but they just changed the color of the cats, but the design was exactly the same.
You can be inspired by these things. You can use them for inspiration, but not a carbon copy, not a direct copy, because
So
it would
you
be
would
very
have to
difficult to
change it.
practice that. You do have to change it. You have to change it in some way. Now, if you've watched the video that we did last week, if you've watched our previous video, the one about designing for print on demand, you'll see that this actually ties in really nicely with how the design companies like Canva, the design software, don't want you to use their stuff and just simply stick it on a mug. They want you to use those design elements as elements. So they want you to modify things, change things, add things to it. So that all works in perfect sync. So the other level of protection is trademarks. Now, trademarks are meteor. Trademarks is where somebody has actually gone to the effort of saying, I really like this. I really like what I've come up with here, and I want to protect it, and I want to make sure other people don't copy. Now, that's a process and it costs money. And when you and I, Amy, are putting lots and lots of different designs and images and slogans and things like that onto our print on demand platform, onto Redbubble in this case, we're not going to go through that process for every single one we come up with. It would cost us a fortune, it would take forever. We would not be doing that. So for us, the copyright is enough, really. There's also areas inside Redbubble where we can do little things like we can put watermarks on our designs so people can't just click and copy it. So that helps too. Again,
Good idea.
we'll cover all that when we get to uploading. So if you happen to upload something onto Redbubble that's trademarked, they have bots, they have a system in place, these little feelers in place that will spot it and they will immediately reject your design, but they won't just reject your design, they might also close your account. Now, Imi, at this point where you've got one, well, you haven't got any yet, but at this point where you've got nothing on there, you've got nothing to lose. Well, you might think so, but actually, they'll keep a record of your email address as well. So if you try and open a new account, they won't like that either. They'll have black marked you, and you don't want that. But imagine my situation. I've got lots of shops on there. I've got lots of different products. One shop's got like 500 designs on there. Imagine
Good
if
Lord, you're prolific.
I am dreadful. I'm an addict. Hello, my name's Jo, and I'm a pod addict. But those in that situation, those people like me and people like you further on, it'd be heartbreaking if my account got shut down just because I did some stupid error with trademark, picked something that was trademarked, even if it was by accident. So let's not make that mistake. And I'm going to show you now how you can avoid it. Now, with trademark, every country in the world has got their own trademark, just to make things more complicated, their own trademark checking system. But we speak English, and we can appreciate and understand that most of our market, most of the customers who are going to buy our products, especially slogans, are going to be based in either the UK or the US. So these are the two trademark checking systems that for us, I recommend checking. Now, if you're watching this and you're in Germany, check that one. I love the German trademark checking site. It's so friendly. It's really nice. And they always change it for the seasons and things like that. It's really lovely. As we're a little bit more very British government.
Uh, the green and white and
So,
black.
well, it's just black and white really. Not even that
Uh,
much. The odd bit of yellow. So here we are. See what I mean? I'm going to make this bigger so it's easier for everyone to see.
okay.
There we are. On here, and I will put these links in the description, is gov.uk/search for trademark with hyphens in between, but I will put the links down below. We want this one, search by keyword, phrase, or image. For this, I'm just going to show you Word, and I'm going to type in Cheesy Joke Club. I don't know where that came from, but let's go with it. Search words Cheesy Joke Club, and I'm going to scroll down to search. While I do that, I just want to draw this to your attention. Far between the 1st of January 1876, well, guess when trademarks came in? And
1876.
yeah, so there we are. Do a search and scroll back up. Ready? So that lovely red box means, there are no trademarks matching your search criteria. We're in the clear. We can go for it. We will check the US one as well. But before we leave this intellectual property office side, I want to put one in that I know will come up. So I'm just going to do a simple word. I'm just going to do goose and then search. And here we are. Now, this one's withdrawn, so we don't need to worry about it. But that's goose with that particular image. If there's an image, it means that that image has been trademarked. So that one's dead. Registered goose. Now we do have here classes, and you are able to go into the classes to check what each of them are. Because technically, you could, if these classes are things like random things and not the products that you're planning on selling them on, you could technically still use it. However, because we are putting it on Redbubble and it's going over nearly 100 products, I don't want to have to weed through all of those classes to see if any of my products are included. Why not just avoid it? It's so much better to just avoid it.
Mm.
So if I'm putting something else like the goose is loose, then that becomes the phrase rather than just the word goose. And then I would, assuming I haven't come across other trademarks when I try it out, I would be able to use it. So the registered ones are the ones that are live. Dead, obviously it's expired, so it doesn't matter anymore. And if you want to get further information, you can click into any of the trademark numbers of any of these. So that's in the UK. But what about the US? Well, the US have their own. As I say, every country has their own. And so now I'm going to take you into the US version. And this is the USPTO, Patent and Trademark Office. Again, I will put the link down below, but if you were to type it out, be uspto.gov/trademarks/search, and you simply click on that green bar there and you type it in. So let's try goose straight away and see what comes up. Click on the little magnifying glass, and here we are. A lot of images, Goose Goose Duck, very famous brand. So you can see all of the goosey things here. And again, it's pretty clear if something's live as opposed to if something's abandoned and gone. And we have got this little thing down here so you can ask for help if you need to. So once again, it's very straightforward. It's a very quick check. It's not going to take you long. And once you've been doing it a while, you'll get to really whiz through this. Keep them as tabs, set them as favorites, and it's just gives you that extra level of reassurance that you're not breaking any rules or doing anything wrong.
Mm.
I don't know about you, Amy, but I always feel like if I'm doing well with something, I suddenly get a it's too good to be true. I'm gonna get caught out. What's wrong? With this, as long as you do this, you won't be. You'll be fine.
No, that's very good.
You'll
I
be
like
absolutely fine. One thing to mention with trademarks is if you have a brand of your own and you've already trademarked your logo, Redbubble is not the place for you to create your branded merchandise. You're much better off doing it somewhere else, probably on your own website, which is the Pod 123 series that I talk about, or on something like Shopify. Now, there's a very distinct reason for this. Redbubble have, as I say, they've got these bots, they've got these systems in place that flag up when a trademark is put on. What they don't do is they don't differentiate between a trademark that belongs to Volkswagen or somebody or one that belongs to you. They don't care if it's you that owns that trademark. It just goes, wah, wah, trademark, remove, remove, delete. So you don't want to be putting anything trademarked on there. And this is the voice of experience telling you this because I have done this for clients where I've been building up their Redbubble accounts and setting them up for them. And they haven't mentioned that something's trademarked. I've been putting all the work in, then suddenly their account is just closed.
that. Oh
Because
no.
as far as Redbubble's concerned, they're trying to breach someone's trademark.
Oh,
So don't do it. Don't do it on Redbubble if you have trademarked images. Do it on Redbubble if you're not going to use those trademarked images or slogans or whatever, and you're going to use other stuff. Carry on, do it to your heart's content, but don't put on your trademark designs. It's not going to end well.
that's a very useful piece of information.
Just in case. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I've got one, but
No, no, but somebody might, somebody might be
yeah,
thinking,
absolutely.
whole set of branded stuff, but this is not the place to do it. So, Imi, any questions on those first two sections that we've talked about today?
No, I think that's really clear. It's really
Good.
clear, and I'm able to assimilate it into my brain.
Perfect. I will say, if you're watching this video and you do have questions, please just pop them down in the comments. I or Imi, if not me, one of us will spot them and answer. And if it's something that Imi sees and Imi wants me to answer, she'll just contact me and I'll spot it and I will answer it for you. So, yeah, just put it down in the comments. Now I'm going to show you what I mean by these Redbubble tiers. So, not that long ago, Redbubble introduced account tiers and fees. And for those of us in the Redbubble community, people, artists who've been putting products on Redbubble for some time, this was horrifying. We were absolutely gutted. But I still wholeheartedly believe that Redbubble is a really good idea. It's a really, really good way to have your own products out there for sale in the big wide world. But it's also the most user friendly for teaching people on when we first start. And that to have that way to get your head around the whole way print on demand works and to be able to make money from sales while you do it, let's start with Redbubble. So I'm going to go into what this account tiers and fees thing means now. So the first thing I want to say is that this account, which I use as a sort of training account, is standard, as you can see in that purple bar there. and it may be subject to an account fee. There's no may about it. It will be subject to an account fee. Don't panic. Please don't worry about this. What this means is you are not going to be paying a monthly fee. You are not going to be paying to run your account. You're not going to be paying for fulfillment or anything like that. So, with standard, which is where most people start from, and I will say, although I say most people, I don't mean everybody. So, where it's really confusing with these tiers is there's no black and white way to move from the standard tier up to premium, up to pro. They keep that a secret how you can make those moves. And all you can do is put your designs on and do the best you can. I know plenty of people start their Redbubble journey and they put lots of lovely designs on and get put in premium straight away. I know that the majority of people, though, do go into standard straight away. And the downside with standard is that when you sell one of your products, Redbubble will take a percentage out of your royalty, which is horrible. So here, about halfway down, you can see account fee is not applied. And unfortunately, in standard, that is not ticked. Now, it can be as much as 55%. So if Redbubble were going to be sending you £2 royalty on something, they will obviously be taking out over half of that, over a pound. Now, I don't know about you and me, but that is a slap in the face, isn't it? That's
It's a
horrible.
lot. It's a lot.
It
Yeah.
is a lot. Now, it won't necessarily be 55%. It fluctuates, which just makes things even more confusing. But please do look at this from a realistic place. You have set your prices at a rate at which it gives you a £2 royalty. You are making less than a pound from that sale, admittedly. However, you are still making some money for doing absolutely nothing apart from the work you've already done previously and it's there in the past. And you don't feel that pain anymore from doing that work because you did it months ago or years ago. So actually, you're getting money for nothing. Now, if that money is a pound instead of £2, that is gutty, but it's a pound more than you would have got.
That's
So,
right.
so I want you to really keep this in perspective. Also, they do reviews, so you might get put up into premium anyway. If you are somebody who is adding images onto your account, adding designs onto your account regularly, you are keeping abreast of things, you are generally keeping your account tidy. So you've done all the things. When we're setting up our account, I will be showing you how you can put a banner on and put a little bio on and things like that. So if you're ticking all the boxes and you're doing all the things, there's no reason why you're not going to be moved up into premium.
Yeah. Would you think it was best to make a lot of your designs in Canva? Lots, not just one or two or 10. And when you've got, say, 100, then upload them all to Redbubble. And then
I
maybe you'll go into the premium.
I would say if that was me, I would do because apart from the fact that you will drive yourself cuckoo trying to do 100 in one go, I would do the first sort of 20, say, and then I would do one a day or one every other day because that looks better in a way. That looks like you're not just forgetting about Redbubble. It looks like you're consistently uploading. They are going to like that better.
Ah,
And it
okay.
also it keeps things more active. It shows that you're a team player effectively.
Right.
Okay. So now I'm not going to go through each of those benefits and each of those things here and now.
People can take a screenshot of it and save
Yeah,
it.
that's a good idea. I'm so glad you're here. Let me make it bigger. Then you can take a screenshot of that, find all the things you need to know on there. Now, obviously, we'd all love to get to pro stage, but let's be realistic. You're just starting out with this. You're still making money, whatever tier you are on, you are still making money on sales from something where you're not having to do all the work. Now,
Mm.
one argument you may have is, well, I'll just put my price up then to accommodate that. But I want you to bear in mind that on Redbubble, your products are going to be listed alongside other people's. And if you're charging £25 for a t-shirt, but there's a t-shirt very similar to yours, not the same obviously because of copyright, but very similar to yours, and it's only 15, guess which one's going to sell? So
Mhm.
don't overprice because at the end of the day, you can't say, "Oh, my t-shirt's better quality than yours." It's not. It's the same t-shirt.
Mm.
Everybody's blank canvas is the same because all of those fulfillment centers have got a pile of those t-shirts. So yours
Mm.
is going to be 100% rich cotton compared to somebody else's that's a cotton polyester mix. Yours is gonna be the same as theirs. The only
Yeah.
thing that's different is the design that's going on it. So don't say, "Oh, mine's the best quality t-shirt. That's why I've put it up to £30." It's not gonna work.
Do they have different quality T-shirts on
Yes, they
Redbubble?
do.
Can you
They've
say,
got
I want a super duper,
you
one
can't
that's not going to shrink?
when we're doing the uploading, you'll see that you can either select to have it on that product or unselect it so you don't have it on that product. So there are a lot of products on there, but it's up to you. If you want to sell it on the more expensive versions of things, do. There isn't a premium and a lower quality version of everything, but there are a few different things on
Yeah,
there. With clothing,
yeah.
there's a few different permutations as well, like long sleeve, short sleeve t-shirts, vests, V-necks. There's all of those things. So yeah. So please don't let the account tiers put you off. I know it's galling. I would much rather they weren't there. It's an extra complication. But I promise you, learning on Redbubble is going to give you such a good grounding. And I always, always, always say, store your designs, put them somewhere where you know you'll be able to find them again. Because once you've done Redbubble, you might fancy putting them on another site. You might fancy putting them on Society 6 or Spreadshirt or Zazzle or Amazon, because Amazon has their own print on demand facility, merch on demand.
Right.
Yeah. But with Amazon, you have to apply to get into it, and they want to know that you've got experience of this. So get your experience, cut your teeth on Redbubble.